dangerous, not in a gang, and doesn't belong in prison in El Salvador. Fox's Griff Jenkins reports.
Newly surfaced court records show Abrego Garcia's wife filed domestic violence allegations against her husband. However, she's now telling Newsweek, quote, after surviving domestic violence in a previous relationship, I acted out of caution after a disagreement with Kilmore by seeking a civil protective order in case things escalated. Things did not escalate, and I decided not to follow through.
Meantime, the mother of a woman murdered by another immigrant from El Salvador in Maryland met with President Trump at the White House.
Hattie Morin shared graphic and heartbreaking details about the deadly attack.
He used them to hammer her head against those rocks. They say at least 20 times.
Morin spoke from the White House press room. A migrant from El Salvador was convicted of the rape and murder of 37-year-old Rachel Morin, a mother of 5. The Trump administration has pointed to that crime to bolster its deportation case against Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. At the White House today, Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni.
She's the first European leader to sit down face-to-face with the president since he implemented and then paused 20% tariffs on European exports. And they do really share a good relationship. So today she's going to be working to preserve that while also seeing if she can sway Trump on a 0-for-0 tariff deal that the European Union is seeking. The Wall Street Journal writes this: Meloni's broader goal is to keep the U.S. firmly anchored to Europe, positioning herself as a potential bridge between Western allies. As the rhetoric from Washington turned increasingly antagonistic, the Italian premier has tried to keep the continent in Trump's good graces, urging her European colleagues to avoid confrontation.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The Trump administration is threatening to stop Harvard University from enrolling foreign students unless it turns over visa holders' disciplinary records. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This week's Centers for Disease Control report showing higher autism rates says some of the increase is just due to more awareness and diagnosis, and it can run in families. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., though, says it's preventable.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is dismissing the idea that autism rates are being fueled by genetic factors, saying that genes do not cause epidemics. And the explosion of autism, for which the CDC says 1 in 31 children were diagnosed in 2022, up dramatically from 1 in 5,000 in the 1960s.
We have to recognize we are doing this to our children, and we need to put an end to it.
Secretary Kennedy now commissioning never-done-before studies to identify environmental toxin exposures like pesticides, food chemicals, medicines, even ultrasound technology as a potential cause of the autism epidemic, saying he should have an answer by September. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The Texas legislature is advancing plans for a taxpayer-funded school voucher program providing about $10,000 a year for private school tuition or $2,000 toward homeschooling costs. The program is capped at $1 billion for the first year, going up from there. Football coach Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend will compete in the Miss Maine USA contest against the pageant's first transgender woman.
Among those competing against Jordan Hudson, Isabel St. Cyr, the first transgender person to try for the state title. St. Cyr, who is a farm owner, telling the Bangor Daily News she wants to show everyone that trans women can do well in the pageant. Hudson's boyfriend, the former New England Patriots head coach, is now UNC's head football coach. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Actress Michelle Trachtenberg's death is reported as complications from diabetes by the New York City Medical Examiner's Office. She was 39 years old, found unresponsive in her apartment in February. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, the city of Arcola aiming to welcome in more out-of-town visitors in the near future, and a $1.3 million grant helping to make it happen. Money comes from the state's Rebuild Downtown and Main Streets grant program. There'll be several improvements, some of which are already in the works. In Hoopston, Joel Bird spent more than 2 decades with Hoopston Fire, about 10 of those as fire chief. He'll soon be closing that chapter. He's not going far. Bird began working with the city's emergency management agency last year. He's now accepted the role of director. Says he'll try to help out with the fire department when needed. Well, another pharmacy in Urbana closing its doors. CVS officials said the store's last day, May 28th. It's the second pharmacy to shut down on Philo Road near Colorado Avenue this year. Across the street, the Walgreens closing in January, and several other businesses on the street are currently sitting empty there. And that's your check of what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
I remember when Philo Road was a thing. I remember when it really was vibrant on Philo Road, but now, yikes, Walgreens closing, CVS. I mean, not encouraging. Hey, good morning. I'm Stevie J. That's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
Brother Johnny's coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Diane Ducey's birthday.
Oh, you didn't have to say that.
I just want to make sure everybody knows that. So,
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, another year.
Many more.
I guess I just feel more low-key this year, and maybe that's an age thing. But I appreciate the sentiments, and I feel good for another year coming on.
Good for you. Well, you look great, and you're ready to go. Take on another year.
Thank you.
All right, Solier. So, I guess this is the start of something, huh?
Don't shoot the messenger. That's all I say. There's the weather forecaster.
All right, our weather this morning with Greg Solier, our meteorologist, brought to you by Carl.
Advanced care planning is key. You never know when a medical emergency is going to arise. So having all your wishes spelled out officially, you can find out more at carl.org.
All right, sir, what say you?
Well, kind of increasingly wet and showery and persistent and all that associated with a wetter weather pattern that has weeks attached to it here from a duration standpoint. Now, not every day will have rain or every hour have rain, but it's just a repetitive nature once you get these systems going and you evolve into these wetter grounds, which are already dominant south and east of us. It just kind of feeds upon itself here. So there'll be, pockets where folks get some planting done. Probably the better odds are going to be out in the northwestern and westernmost Corn Belt, but here, north to the Illinois-Wisconsin line, the Mississippi on southward to the Ohio, going to become increasingly problematic here in the days and weeks to come. 50 now over at the Willard Airport, 47 at Rantoul, 45 at the Kankakee, 58 down St. Louis ways in there. A pretty good blob of rain is just to the west of the Mississippi. Shower activity through eastern Iowa, some stuff down and around the Effingham area, and all that will be building northward. A stray shower, a few drops of rain here this morning, and a couple of showers and better coverage this afternoon. 65, lingering shower threat this evening, and again late, mild 55, partly sunny, windy, warmer tomorrow. Boy, if we could put days like tomorrow together with no rain at a high near 80, but there will be rain both in the mid to late morning and more so showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and maybe a weather watch, and then some soakers across the area tomorrow night through Saturday morning. Probably an inch plus there for openers at 53. Still a few showers lingering into even Saturday afternoon, the high near 60. Easter Sunday might be a little damp around the edges, a little rain in spots. 50 at daybreak, and then 65 as the showers and thunderstorms come back later in the afternoon on Easter Sunday. Showers and 62 Monday. No rain Tuesday at 68. At least we're mild, but the showers are back in next Wednesday and Thursday. Highs around 70. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, here we go. It is April 17, Diane Ducey's birthday all day long. It's Thursday.
But still, such a great event yesterday. I'm still kind of riding high on that Kicking Cancer event, Coaches versus Cancer at Gordyville yesterday. I just, because I've been to so many events over the past, 40 years of doing this gig, I know the sweet spot of when to work the room and get all these key pictures. I sent you a few, too.
Yeah, you sent me one with Ty Rogers, Ben Quattrone. I didn't know the other guy.
That's AJ. AJ? Red.
AJ Red?
That's it.
Okay.
And Kyle Tosk was with me, so that's how I was able to identify some of the younger athletes that were in the room. Of course, knew all the coaches, said hi to Mike Small, and Josh Whitman and his wife, Hope, looked beautiful. Of course, this is an event where it's Western themed, so it makes it so comfortable.
Nice and casual.
The 1,800 people at Gordyville last night.
That's what it was. Brad had said 1,500. Was it 1,800?
18 is what they said towards the end of the night.
Good.
And then they didn't have the final tallies, but there were, keystone events in the event that were making more money than usual.
All right. That's great news.
So last year was $500,000 for cancer research.
Well, before it all started, Brad Underwood talked to the media about a little older team perhaps developing for next year for Illinois.
Yeah, I thought we did a really, really good job of finding the high character guys that allowed us to have our culture and keep our culture. I think it's nice this year to have guys who are a little older back. There's no doubt about that. That's important. You've got Kyle and you've got Ty. Tommy's a veteran, but I think you go right on down the list. Jake, Ben. Those are all guys that have been big parts of what this team was this year, and can move that forward to another level, as always happens here. And our guys get better, and they buy in more, and that's something that we're obviously feeling a great place to be at.
That's real. Kylan Boswell. He's really young, but he's experienced.
Mm-hmm.
He's 20, turning 20 as a junior. Really young guy. He started early. Then you got Tommy. He's been playing in Europe, and I think he'd be 22. He's the same because he's his twin. Ty Rogers in his 4th year. Ben Hummerkraus in his 5th year. Jake Davis in his 3rd year. Based on Terrence Shannon's team, based on last year, I want the old guys. I am now excited about an 18-year-old, but let's just go ahead and meld in my 23-year-old with that.
There was a discussion with the panel. Of course, Chris Collins and his insight from Northwestern. Dana Altman, who I didn't know off. I actually tapped him and I said, dude, can you take Josh and Hope and I's picture?
Dana Altman taking your picture. Okay. Did you ask for a picture with him?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know who he was. The Oregon.
35 years. It's fine.
I know.
He's about to win as many games as Lou Henson. He's about to get 800 wins.
They talked about all that.
Okay.
I told Kyle, I'm so embarrassed.
Buddy, over here.
And, Josh Whitman, kind of giggled and said, thanks, coach, to him. So I knew this.
That's so funny. Diane asked Dana Altman to take a picture. Hey, kid, come here. I gave you a quarter.
I said,
take my picture.
I didn't say kid because he's probably a little older than me, but he said, I said, dude. I smacked his shoulder.
Nice.
Handing him my camera.
Well, I'm sure he did it for himself.
He did. Yeah. And he kind of laughed. But
I bet you that's the first time in 40 years Dana Altman was asked to take a picture of somebody else. Well, good going. That's all right.
I started laughing as soon as he was introduced, and I said, Kyle, that's the guy who has to take a picture with the AD.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, it was all good, and it was such a great program. But the Europeans versus the Americans and getting the prep work in and the great foundation of basketball skills was one of the topics that came up to the panel. And it's interesting. With the KJs and Tomislav and all that coming down the pipe.
They've been playing for a long time.
That's
professionally.
Right. Yes.
14 is when Kasper's got to go.
Right.
So. No, it's a different culture. You have to understand it. Once you build trust, you might have a pipeline for a while.
Right. So. And Robbie Hummel spoke to that too, playing some European ball after his Purdue chapter, and talked about the foundation of what these kids are getting, and the pick and roll and stuff like that they're going over at the age of 12 and 13. Whereas we're still in, hey, my dad's
more high flying, jamming, not necessarily, maybe not as good at fundamentals, but
right.
All right, sports headlines at 7:14.
St. Louis Cardinals came out winners yesterday, 4-1 over Houston. So here's our summary of the game.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and yesterday the Cardinals finished off 2 out of 3 over Houston, winning 4-1, and Steven Matz had a great start.
He was outstanding. He was looking for his command to come around in the early going, but really settled in, worked inside well against an entire right-handed batting lineup for the Houston Astros. He went 5 innings. He went his pitch total that they expected him to go, gave way to the bullpen after that.
He retired the last 15 he faced, and Lars Nootbaar helped Matz over the top. From the stretch, Blanco, the pitch. Nootbaar swings, and he drives it to center field. That's hit back to the track, the wall. It's a gunner! A 3-run homer for Lars Nootbaar. 3-1 Cardinals in the 5th inning. The win to Matz, 1-1 over Ronel Blanco, 1-2, and Ryan Helsley got the save.
Helsley looked sharp in the 9th inning. Again, Nootbaar's big hit. A good team win again.
And we're in New York tonight on the air at 5:15.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Padres beat the Cubs 4-2. They've got a game tomorrow against Arizona from Wrigley with a 1:20 start over on US 105.9. The A's beat the White Sox yesterday 3-1. That'll be a 1:10 start to finish that series. Playing games for the NBA had Miami taking out the Bulls 109-90. Dallas over Sacramento 120-106. So for the East side, for that 8th seed play-in game tomorrow, it'll be Atlanta and Miami. And then we also have Memphis and Dallas in the later game tomorrow night.
Who's watching that stuff?
I don't know, if the Bulls were in it, obviously.
Well, not Io, right?
Right.
Okay.
Because he had an injury towards the end of this season.
Yeah, I mean, but at this level, they're fighting for the last spot to play the number one, so they're going to lose, and so it's like
Pacers in Milwaukee are one of the first games on Saturday as the tournament gets underway.
Yeah.
So.
Wake me up in June. The finals will be in June.
NBA
June
seems like a long season.
The playoffs are like 2 months. Mm-hmm. People, but that gives everybody a chance to make the playoffs. I'm a playoff team,
right?
Well, so are 16 others or whatever.
That's right. Softball beat Valpo 5-1 yesterday. They'll have Purdue tomorrow in West Lafayette at 4:00. So, again, a great event yesterday. Thanks to everybody who said hello to me. It's just so fun.
So people you think are listening to us, is that?
But they're not real loud about their support. They just more kind of whisper. Or,
I appreciate what you're doing. Yeah, don't admit you listen to us.
Discreetly say they listen to the show, Johnny. Thanks for coming in the studio today.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and I mentioned Johnny too. One person said they love his perspective.
Good. That's a while. But it's so funny because there was one time at an Illini football tent, people were walking by going, "Hey, appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing."
Yeah, it's more
what
of
the
a
heck?
subtle,
they
quiet
can't admit
compliment.
listening to us. All right, that's great. We appreciate everybody out there listening. 217-359-2255 is the Fisher National Bank text line.
And actually, John had texted an unwillingness to admit the cause of the businesses and Philo Road and what's happening. Essentially getting to the point is there's crime in that area.
There's crime in that area. I know a barber there, used to be there, had to lock his door on Philo Road because he couldn't have just anybody walk in. It's unbelievable what's happened to Philo Road.
Right.
Okay, weather brought to you by Urbana Park District.
And they remind you great spring programs to sign up for the extravaganza events with egg hunts this weekend. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Freeze on Florida and Champaign and vicinity. Clouds into position. Shower activity to the west and south. It'll be a little more scattered and random as the morning progresses in rainfall chances and better odds this afternoon up to 65. The south-southeasterly wind on the increase at 12 to 24 and gusty. Windy, milder tonight. Maybe a stray shower this evening. And again, late night tonight, 55 the low. Tomorrow, a summer-like day. Partly sunny windy, warmer up around 80, and with that, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the morning, more so for the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night, lower 50s with widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. Still a few showers both morning and afternoon on Saturday, markedly cooler at 60. Easter Sunday, about 50 at sunrise, or maybe a little rain around. Then showers and thunderstorms are back in for the afternoon on Easter Sunday, the high to 65. A couple of more showers, 62 on Monday. We're dry Tuesday, would you believe, at 68. Highs up near 70, and more rain back in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Over the next 5 days, easily 1 to 3 inches in the gauge. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. American Express is reporting a better-than-expected quarter. The credit card company says its customer behavior did not change in its first quarter despite tariff uncertainty. But United Health shares are down nearly 20%. The medical insurer is lowering its forecast for the year. It's seeing a jump in demand for care from members of its Medicare Advantage plans. United Health earnings were disappointing. Home builder D.R. Horton is seeing a muted spring selling season. It's lowering expectations for the year after earnings declined. Would-be buyers remain cautious. Sales incentives are being increased where necessary to drive traffic and incremental sales. Home prices and mortgage rates remain high. It sold fewer homes at the start of the year compared with a year ago. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
It's the Will Cain Podcast.
Donald Trump, multiple cases of lawfare in the United States trying to bar him from running for president here in the U.S. At some point, it can't just be TDS. It's not a localized problem. It's a global problem. And you have to wonder, what's the global ideology? What's the global organization? What's the global push to take down not just a man and Donald Trump, but policies, an administration, and an ideology spanning across the world?
Streaming live 12 p.m. Eastern weekdays on FoxNews.com and the Fox News YouTube channel.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Urbana's Market at the Square has been cultivating a vibrant scene in CU since 1979. Get to know your farmers bringing locally harvested honey, crafts, jewelry, art, fresh cut flowers, plus produce including fresh leafy greens and root vegetables, fresh baked treats, and a wide selection of proteins. Going on now, every Saturday, 7 a.m. till noon, rain or shine at Illinois and Vine, it's Urbana Market at the Square. Find Urbana Market on Facebook or urbanamarket.org.
At F&B Wealth Management, it's not just about numbers, it's about people and communities. Hi, I'm Ryan Heiser, President and CEO of Fisher National Bank and F&B Wealth Management. Our team is united by a shared passion for helping you achieve your financial goals. We are equipped and eager to work together to craft personalized financial solutions just for you, including retirement planning, risk management through life insurance, long-term care insurance planning, and investment advisory services. Together, we will celebrate milestones, navigate life's transitions, and build a financial future that reflects your values. Experience the difference of a team that truly cares. Visit investwithfnb.com to learn more about dedicated advisors and start your journey toward a financial confidence today.
F&B Wealth Management is a division of Fisher National Bank. F&B securities are not insured by the FDIC, not a deposit or other obligation of or guaranteed by the depository institution, subject to investment risks, including possible loss of the principal amount invested. Securities, insurance, and investment advisory services are offered through Midwestern Securities Trading Company, LLC, MSTC, member FINRA, SIPC. MSTC and F&B are not affiliated.
F&B Wealth Management, supporting exceptional communities full of exceptional people.
Yeah, bring it on.
It's Diane Ducey's birthday, so be sure to go to her Facebook or something and say happy birthday to her.
Diane's birthday today?
Yeah.
Sarah
Well,
Diane.
I knew that. April 17th is my daughter Sarah's birthday today.
That's right. She's in Destin, Florida or something.
Yeah, she's taking a vacation.
Yeah. Anyway, happy birthday.
Thank you.
We're glad you were born. Big time.
It's your birthday.
All right, 724. Please tell me why the fascination with Luigi Mangione. He's the guy that walked up in a hoodie and shot the CEO of the health company in the back of the head. Brutal murder. They caught him, and people go nuts about him. This is
good-looking 26-year-old dude.
This is as clear of an example as I can give you how you're not going to get them all. You're just not going to. We have people living in this country that you think they're from another planet.
I mean, this online search talks about all the fangirls.
No, they're just
unbelievable.
So here's a clip as an example of, you've got to be kidding me. This is a murderer.
There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and angles the sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this.
This is Taylor Lorenz. This man walked up to the CEO with a wife and family with kids, shot him in the back of the head. This is who she's talking about now.
And I can tell you, I saw the biggest audience growth that I've ever seen. Here's this man who's a revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Hard to find.
Yeah.
He's a devil. The guy shot cold blood. I don't care what you think about healthcare.
But it was a healthcare executive. That's right.
It's the top of the, I don't know what it was, United some. I mean, yeah, it was a big shot in healthcare, going to a conference on the sidewalk at 6 a.m. and shoots him in the back of the head. And he's smart. Hard to find somebody morally sound.
Well, she
what is that?
She's of a progressive mindset. And it's what I've been saying for quite some time. It's a free country. She can say what she wants. Don't put her in charge of anything, Steve, because you'll end up with Philo Road. When the people with those perspectives and that way of logic that brings them to that point are elected to run certain communities, everything goes south. And the signal is something like, no guys should be allowed in the girls' locker room. Don't put them in charge of anything. Everybody's going to move. And you just have to move across the road or across the straight line. But they're not going to put up with it. It doesn't sell. And the Democrats got intimidated out of their party. These radical progressives screamed racist homophobes to them, so they got elected. And now they're running things. And where is it well run? When the progressives got a lock on a city or a community, where is it well run?
Well, I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know if somebody has a example of a progressive run town, city, village. I'd like to know about it. I really would. I don't think there is one. You look at all the big cities, rot with major problems.
Well, and take Denver. That they've been very liberal, but it's been well run, Colorado, and now it's progressive, and things are starting to go south.
Yeah. And my sister Linda lives in Seattle, and there's just all these little camps under all these places of homeless people, and they're just not managing
they did actually.
San Francisco.
They were the first to have another country in their downtown.
Oh,
area.
yeah, the peace and love, summer of love, all that.
No, and that was like, okay, that's what we're going to. So they should not be in charge of anything.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to persecute them.
But I mean, is Champaign County run by progressives, or are they run by Democrats?
Champaign County has a strong liberal leaning now with the.
But
I think it's all Democrats.
It's all Democrats.
I don't know who's.
There's no
radical,
Republican.
Progressive, woke Democrat.
I don't know.
Reasonable liberal.
I think the Champaign County board's pretty woke. I think that's
but
pretty
there
much.
Are some people that are trying to make a difference.
They're trying to make a difference, but I'm just saying that if you're woke, if you believe in boys and girls teams, we're just not going to have a lot to talk about because you're going to yell at me. I'm going to think.
Well, we're just going to have some division. That's the problem. Because you have to represent the general populace, and that's one where that position doesn't represent the general sentiment. So I think the Democrats, the Champaign County is a Democrat. The county is a Democrat run, and that's not going to change. So we have to get more moderate Democrats in.
Yep. Right. And John had texted into 359-2255 about feeling silenced by the vocal minority is a big problem, and talking about the culture and the crime and race and, are people stepping up? Are we raising our children right? Do we have a good foundation? The whole three prongs on the stool with teachers and parents and the kid being on the same page. We don't have that. The foundation is not right.
And as it goes further off the rails, people are stepping up, and we're seeing some real pushback now towards that far extreme. And a lot of people, and I think I'm one of them, feel like my politics haven't really changed since I voted for Jimmy Carter. But I could be I could be a January 6ther, and I didn't even see it. I wasn't watching TV during that thing. And but that's how far right I would be considered by the people who are basically running the Democratic Party. And the theory that we would like to see happen is they're going to run the party right off the cliff. But I'm not sure. So,
well, if James Carville's starting to say we need a split, that's something. That's a movement there.
Well, and I think the Democrats would win if they stand up to them. They do not have the numbers. They just have the microphones. Like this girl that's crazy about talking great about the murderer. Yeah. She has a lot of airtime.
Yep.
And
he's a morally good man, and they're hard to find.
No, he seems like a more. She did say seems like so because she was trying to defend it, but there's no defense. In any case, fine. She can go to therapy. We can talk. Don't put her in charge of something.
Yeah, all right. We'll break. Anthony Russo as a podcast. The truth shall set you free. We've had him on before, but it's been a minute. He'll be up next. Stand by 217-359-2255. You want to text in? It's 7:30. Time for Fox News. Be right back.
News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Maryland Democrat Senator Chris Von Hollen traveled to El Salvador to advocate for the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The Trump administration defending his deportation, insisting he's a gang member, and
Abrego Garcia's wife petitioned for an order of protection against him for 2 instances of domestic violence.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Italy's prime minister, is going to meet with President Trump at the White House for tariff talks.
The EU today is looking at Prime Minister Meloni as a representative of sorts. She's the first European leader to sit down face-to-face with the president since he implemented and then paused 20% tariffs on European exports. And they do really share a good relationship. So today she's going to be working to preserve that while also seeing if she can sway Trump on a 0-for-0 tariff deal that the European Union is seeking.
That's Fox's Alexandria Hoff. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A woman has been arrested and charged with sexually abusing a minor in Mattoon. 36-year-old Amanda Mitz, charged with grooming and aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Police were notified of a possible inappropriate relationship. She was taken to the Coles County Detention Center. Now, the pharmacy in Urbana closing its doors. A CVS official said the store's last day, May 28. It's the second pharmacy to shut down on Philo Road near Colorado Avenue this year. Across the street, the Walgreens closed in January, and several other businesses on the street currently sitting empty. Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, could see about $230 billion in cuts. Now people in central Illinois worry they might have food access taken away. And for that long, SNAP's been funded by the federal government. SNAP provides money for people under certain income thresholds, depending on how many people are in your household. Spotify experienced a widespread shortage yesterday, with thousands of users reporting problems with the popular music and audio streamer. But the good news, the platform back up and running. You're locally up to date. From the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom, I'm Joe Miller.
Yeah, I failed to mention John Decker's off for Easter. This is Maundy Thursday.
Yes. It is.
This is the Last Supper.
Which refers to the Last Supper.
First, obviously before the arrest, which came, near midnight or something, when Jesus was arrested.
Also washing of the feet that happened.
Showed the humbleness of...
Well, actually, Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me, and start. That's what we get our communion, the Last Supper.
So, and I'm just wondering, this was held in the upper room, and Mark's dad owned that. And so they were up there, and I'm just wondering, when he's talking, what we now think is pretty vividly about what's about to happen, I don't think the disciples still let it sink in that this was going to happen.
They were a little clueless. And then they were scared to death.
Oh, yeah.
He said he would be back, but that didn't register. They were laying low.
What was it about John, who was like 19, that was at the base of the cross with Mary, and was also the only apostle to live, and then died in his sleep or something? And I guess he was on an island or something.
A very special guy.
Yeah. But he was essentially wrote Revelations, had a dream about All right. Well, this is Easter week, Monday, Thursday. It's Holy Thursday. And John Decker is off. So we're going to call our friend Anthony Russo. We will do that next. Our weather brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvement, specializing in siding, windows, doors, roofing. On the door, 25% off. Learn more at kramersiding.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Freeze on Toledo and Champaign and vicinity. Clouds in position. Shower activity to the west and south. It'll be a little more scattered and random as the morning progresses in rainfall chances and better odds this afternoon up to 65. The south-southeasterly wind on the increase at 12 to 24 and gusty. Windy, milder tonight. Maybe a stray shower this evening. And again, late night tonight, 55 the low. Tomorrow, a summer-like day. Partly sunny, windy, warmer up around 80. And with that, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. More so for the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night, lower 50s with widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. Still a few showers both morning and afternoon on Saturday. Markedly cooler at 60. Easter Sunday, about 50 at sunrise. There may be a little rain around. Then showers and thunderstorms are back in for the afternoon on Easter Sunday. The high to 65. A couple of more showers, 62 on Monday. We're dry Tuesday, would you believe, at 68. Highs up near 70 and more rain back in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Over the next 5 days, easily 1 to 3 inches in the gauge. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
A political analyst, social media influencer with the handle "The Truth Shall Set You Free," and a professional speaking coach. You've added some things here. Anthony Russo, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. White House quietly floats millionaire tax hike. That's not going to happen, is it?
I don't know. Ask Anthony.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Okay.
So it's, we need that big, beautiful bill. They're going to get that passed?
So I think the bill's going to be passed. I think, again, Trump says one thing. It's the magic of Trump's words can alter everything from the stock market to liberal outrage, leftist outrage, to even conservatives going like, wait a second. And it's the media just run with his words, and that's why it has such a polarizing sometimes effect. But he's considering it, and he's considering doing what is a 37% tax rate for people that make $609,000 or more is what it's set at. There is a floated part of the bill that would take the people that make $1 million or more and increase that 37% to 39.6%. So a 2.6% increase once you reach over $1 million. That is the proposal that is being considered as a part of this massive bill that has the no tax on tips, 15% made in America tax cut, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. So there's a lot going into it that is a tax cut. And then this is a consideration for how to pay for it. But at the same time, you also have the DOGE cuts. You've got massive changes in tax code that would actually benefit this, especially if companies are moving back to America. So I think this is just something that is said, well, it's not off the table, but I don't think it's really on the table either.
Well, that's more politically valuable. I don't think the 2.6 for everyone making over $1 million adds up to much money relative to the big picture. But it's a good political move to say, no, the rich will pay their fair share because the Democrats have made that quite a deal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're doing it. Yep, we're doing that.
Yeah. Hey,
you would think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you would think that the left would be like jumping up and down, like he's doing it. He's taxing the rich. He's considering taxing the rich. Instead, they're like, look, he's raising the tax rate, guys. It's like, okay, this is further evidence that you can't be pleased.
Well, you got to admit, he said that during his State of the Union. There's nothing I can do for these people.
Yeah.
Nothing. They got their little auction paddles, and nothing I do would ever.
Well, you could say we're going to tax Democrats 70% to give an idea of socialism. See how that goes. I wonder if that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get any bigger pushback than anything else he does.
Well, there's nothing he can do that they'll say, yippee.
No.
It won't do it. What's your take on the whole El Salvador, where we have a senator from Maryland going down there? Now we learn the guy's a wife beater. And, of course, now the woman has backed out. No, that was somebody else. She wrote all these details. It's in the New York Post this morning about how slugged her twice, and she had a protection order. This is the guy they want to bring back to be deported.
Oh, boy.
I mean, were they going to die on this hill? Are you kidding?
I think the senator was confused. He thought that the wife beater was the white tank top that people wear. He didn't realize he was.
That's right. Yeah, like Marlon Brando in the Streetcar Named. That kind of.
What's your take on the whole? Unbelievable.
I started a whole thing on my social media. People are going back and forth like, how dare you? He's the Salvadorian. He's going to deport American citizens too. And then they bring up this guy, which was, it seemed like an error because he's a father and he just seems like an everyday illegal immigrant that's doing the best he can in the United States of America, which I will be honest, I think the one miss our administration has right now is they're over pushing the immigration issue. I think that we wanted closed borders and we wanted criminals gone, and we have skipped right ahead to let's deport everybody. So I think there's a little error there. With that said, this guy has ties to rival gangs. The whole reason why they want him out of the Salvadorian prison is because they're afraid that he might have some of the rival gangs kill him in this prison. Oh, but wait, he's not in gangs, so he shouldn't have been deported. Then why is there rival gangs? It makes zero sense. The guy, unfortunately, for his family, which maybe he's been trying to do the best he can, but he hasn't gotten citizenship. He's an illegal immigrant with ties to MS-13, and now it sounds like he beat his wife. So there is a lot of issues that it's just not the hill that any Democrat should want to die on. But at this point, nothing's surprising.
Well, I'll tell you, Anthony, it's a very good example of the Democrats are very good. The progressives, they're splitting into two different groups, really. But the progressives are very good at distractions and something like this. My comment is, if you're going to bring 15 million people into the country with no documentation, so that we have to get the criminals at least out, you're going to have a little bit of gray area problem. What do you expect? Look, this is the mess they've made. And so now they're saying, oh, one of the guys might not have been that bad. It's like, wow. I don't know what.
Well, based on the report of wife beating, I think he was that bad.
Well,
and he has a known tattoo that you can have removed. Still, I mean, two judges have said he's an MS-13.
The judges, that's fine. Sometimes they can make a mistake. If he's worried about rival games, Anthony makes the point.
Right.
They're the final judge, jury, and executioner, and he's done some things that he's involved, and so he's not a citizen. There are there's no due process rights, whatever. They are not respectful of our Constitution. They know what we're talking about,
and they're brutal.
Yeah, I love seeing the left when they're like, and again, when I say the left, I mean just everyday people on social media talking about like they're clearly violating his rights.
Yeah.
What right?
What right?
He's not a citizen. Yeah. He's not. Unfortunately, he does not have the constitutional rights that we afford. That's just part of our country, part of our Constitution. So it's like you can't say that he has these rights. Unfortunately, he could have changed his life 10 years ago. You're right, he didn't get rid of the tattoo. But if he is not a legal citizen and he has ties in this manner, he should be gone. And to go with what you said, I agree. There's going to be some broken eggs when you're doing the immigration wrecking ball. And I don't disagree with how it's being done. I disagree with how it's being presented, and maybe just some transparency on like, hey, we're doing the best. All he has to say is we're doing the best we can to just get the right people. And I think that would allow me to have an argument that backs up what is being done, which is, again, a major overhaul of all of the people that are illegally in this country.
But you know, too, Anthony, you hit on one of the fundamental problems in the country, which is we do not appreciate our rights. We take them for granted. Everybody has these rights. No. Everybody. No, we're probably the only country that has the kind of freedom and rights we've got.
The pro-Hamas guy.
And they don't know it, Steve.
You don't have the right to be anti-American if you're here on a green card, right? I mean, you're not a citizen.
Or with no card.
We're there. Right. But we have the Columbia guy and all these other things. Well, it's just free speech. We don't accord that, do we, to people that are visiting?
Well, if we'll work with them if they try to learn our system and then pledge. We had a pledge
when you
allegiance.
become a citizen.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you're not a citizen,
kind of gone by the
we
wayside.
can kick you out if you're not a citizen, right? I
Correct.
mean, but they said free speech. Free speech. Not to that.
There's another thing we take for granted, Anthony: free speech, and it's so I think that's a big problem. We have to be more appreciative of what we got, or we won't want to protect it.
Yeah, and I got censored like crazy, I thought, from Facebook Live and YouTube, because I was saying something that was against what they wanted, the doctor, and I wasn't following the line. I really thought it might be time to quit. If Kamala would have won, I wouldn't have had much radio here going on. So.
Look, I had a cousin share an image real quick that was from the El Salvadorian prison that was completely fake and altered. And they're very liberal, and they're all like, look at this, it's a concentration camp, and they're going on, and I'm like, look, this is disgusting to me. I literally got punished on social media for saying, hey, the vaccine's efficacy doesn't look great. And now you're sharing fake images, the same people that were telling me I was a misinformation specialist, and you don't care to acknowledge the fact that there's so much fake news out there about this. It drives me bananas.
Yeah. Well, again, don't take what we have for granted. It can go away. Johnny, can it not?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's then, like our mom used to tell us, Anthony, I'll give you something to cry about.
Boom. First they came for me, and then they come for you, and then eventually it comes for everybody.
Yeah. All right, Anthony Russo, how can people connect with you?
Truth will set you free USA on Instagram's the easiest place to find all my political content when I do make it.
And you get plenty of pushback, I'm sure. Do you not?
Yeah, I've got some trolls. Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anthony.
Take it easy, guys.
That's Anthony Russo down in Dallas, ESPN 93.5, 7:45.
You can follow the show on X if you want to watch us. So we have a camera in studio here, Stevie Jay FM. And of course, we podcast the show in that toolbar. You can find it at steviejay.com.
All right. Nathaniel Son's coming up in a few moments. He's got something for Easter.
Did you know?
Did you know is a feature? And he's coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll do a quick sports headlines on ESPN 93.5 with the birthday girl, Diane Ducey.
Hey, April 17. Good day back in the day. I was born at Mercy Hospital, which is OSF Healthcare. So the youngest of 6 Ducey kids. And like 7 years behind Mary Jean, who's closest to me in age. But my brother Michael and Gary were at the dinner last night to kind of celebrate and just had a great time. I'm so grateful for all my siblings. Aren't you guys as brothers?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Diane. By the way, I was going to ask you, do we look alike? Because a lot of people call me Steve.
Really?
Now. Do we
eyes, especially.
Well,
there's the Ketchaterian eyes.
It's
Mary has
because it's
them
both
too.
of our really worst nightmares. But I guess we're just growing.
I just say Johnny's a good-looking one. I'm on radio, okay?
There you go.
And when Johnny was in oil and gas before retirement, it was rock star status, and somebody came up to me at the oil and gas conference, Johnny! And I said, I'm his brother. He said, oh, is he here? Is he here?
Chop liver over here.
I'll go around this area and they'll say, Stevie, good to see you, Stevie.
Okay.
I go, well,
I get called
Just
John quite a bit. So
excellent. All right. Well, St. Louis beat Houston 4-1 yesterday. Are we doing okay? And then New York at 6:10. Is that today, or do they have the
day off?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And same with the Cubs. Padres over the Cubs to save that series 4-2. And Arizona is at Wrigley tomorrow with a 1:20 start. In case you want to get into your Easter holiday weekend with the day game up at Wrigley, that's always a blast. We got the A's over the Chicago White Sox 3-1 yesterday. They've got a day game today with a 1:10 start. Playing games had Miami beating the Bulls, Dallas over Sacramento. That sets up the 8th seed playing games. Atlanta and Miami and Dallas and Memphis, if you want to watch that.
Is anybody
tomorrow.
watching this early?
Yeah, they'll pick it up. And it gets a little bit stronger as we get closer and closer.
Wake me up in June. That's the finals, right? I mean, I just sometimes think,
if you've got a good team, you watch.
Right.
But it's definitely more local, and there's some big NBA fans, but I don't know what the viewership is versus baseball versus football. I don't know how.
Right.
You
And
track
here in
that
the-
usually,
Yeah,
Steve.
And here in the Midwest, now that the Bulls are out, probably not as strong.
I
But
don't think
Milwaukee and Pacers are in, and they'll be able to play on Saturday.
Well, we had the Pelicans, and that's going to take you off of any basketball. You don't even want to watch the game. You wish the guy that what's the guy that invented that?
Abner Doubleday.
Doubleday. I wish he hadn't even come up with the peach baskets.
Abner Doubleday was baseball.
Yeah, no, it was new something. We'll look it up.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Wait a minute. We know that. They have an ad actually with our Charles Barkley with the.
He crushes the basket.
Yeah.
His last
Naismith.
Naismith. I knew. Yeah,
Good
Naismith.
job.
So that was a rough season for us Pelican fans.
Speaking of 1 year older, it took a while to get to that one.
Talking to the microphone, I can't hear you.
Exactly.
We check our weather. Our meteorologist is Greg Solier. Did you know Nathaniel's son coming up?
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Freeze on Florida and Champaign Bay and vicinity. Clouds into position. Shower activity to the west and south. It'll be a little more scattered and random as the morning progresses in rainfall chances and better odds this afternoon up to 65. The south-southeasterly wind on the increase at 12 to 24 and gusty. Windy, milder tonight. Maybe a stray shower this evening. And again, late night tonight, 55 the low. Tomorrow, a summer-like day. Partly sunny, windy, warmer up around 80. And with that, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. More so for the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night, lower 50s with widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. Still a few showers both morning and afternoon on Saturday. Markedly cooler at 60. Easter Sunday, about 50 at sunrise, or maybe a little rain around. Then showers and thunderstorms are back in for the afternoon on Easter Sunday, the high to 65. A couple of more showers, 62 on Monday. We're dry Tuesday, would you believe, at 68. Highs up near 70, and more rain back in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Over the next 5 days, easily 1 to 3 inches in the gauge. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, thank you, Greg. We will have Tim Onstad, our pitmaster, next hour.
Wow, yeah.
He's got a very easy way to do a smoked ham for Easter.
Nice.
Very, very simple.
Ooh.
You might be able to do that.
Take some notes on that segment.
Yeah, you probably will. It's Thursday. My son in Nathaniel son in Chicago is Nathaniel, so I call him Nathaniel's son because he does a feature called Did You Know? Nathaniel's son, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you all doing?
Brother Johnny's in studio.
We're
as
great,
well.
Nathaniel.
Yes, sir.
Well, and of course, you have your little baby girl, Josephine, and now Grace and Jacob are having a girl.
How about that?
We're going to have a couple cousins, and Dad, you're quickly into the grandparenting phase.
And we love it.
That's right.
All right, my son Nathaniel, what do you have and what do you got for us on Did You Know?
Yeah, well, in light of it being Easter week, referred to as Holy Week in the church, we're going to take time today to talk about the story of a man that perhaps some of us may know. Now, this gentleman was born in London in 1725 to a Protestant family. His name's Mr. John Newton. His father was a merchant, which meant he spent a lot of time aboard ships trading and was gone for months and even years at a time. So he was raised by his mother, but she passed away from tuberculosis when he was 11, at which point he joined his dad on the sailing ships. And as you can imagine, as an 11-year-old going through your formative years on ships, being raised by sailors would be challenging. Consequently, by the time he was 18, he rolled right into serving in the British Navy, and his behavior was so just boisterous that his captain actually had him reassigned to a ship headed for Africa during the slave trade. But his behavior didn't change, and in fact, he decided that while he was in Africa, John was not going to hold himself back from anything he desired. And as a result, he actually ended up imprisoned while in Africa, but was only released when his father came and helped him. Now, it was on a ship in 1748, he was headed back to Ireland, that John woke up below deck to a great storm and a nearly sunken ship. And it was in these moments that his eyes were opened see the choices that he has made and how he had been living his life, and it was so different from how his mom raised him in his Protestant faith. And he remembered the resurrection of Jesus, which is what we celebrate on Sunday, and he cried out to God during that storm, just like so many of us have done in different seasons of life. And their ship made it to land, and John immediately made his way to the nearest church and began to pray. And from then on, he devoted his life to serving the Lord, and eventually joined ministry in the Church of England. Now, some of you may know the name John Newton because some 25 years later, in 1772, in preparation for a sermon on New Year's Eve, he wrote a new song to accompany his sermon. Words which we all know and many of us will sing. And it's Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Wow.
So
John Newton, I would not have been able to know the name like that, but what a story. And how down to the storm and life or death and realize at that moment. But 25 years later, saved a wretch like me. It took a while then.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a great story. Johnny, you heard that?
No, I haven't. It's kind of the way some of us get our eyes open when we're just about at the bottom.
That's right.
And you realize you're not in control,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody
right.
who is there to help you.
Yep.
Great
That's
story.
right.
That's a
So,
great story, yeah.
Go to church on Easter. Find a church near you.
Yes, sir. We'll be at your church, Nathaniel, as you lead the music.
That'll be great.
With
Nathaniel.
guitar and singing, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
No,
Can't
it'll
wait.
be good.
Can't wait.
Glad you're coming.
Hey, thank you, and happy Easter, Nathaniel son.
All right, guys. Take care.
Amazing Grace. What a great song.
Yeah.
It's amazing how some songs kind of endure through the centuries, but that's one that's going back 300 years.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Amazing Grace. Saved a wretch like me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it is 5 before 8 o'clock, ESPN 93.5. Whole nother hour to go. You're welcome to text and get on the line with us, 217-359-2255. Diane was at Coaches versus Cancer. We'll get a total. Last year they raised $500,000. Hopefully it's like that. Maybe more?
Yes. I think it's going to be more.
Okay.
More like at least 600,000.
That would be awesome. And to fight
1,800 people there. A record, of course, at Gordyville for how many people were there. And such a great panel and great to see people and celebrating not only our Illini in various aspects. And the panel was terrific, talking about the NIL and the portal and the officiating and just kind of these jabs at each other. It just makes it so much fun.
No, it's amazing. A small circle of coaching. The coaching world is small. And Diane asked Dana Altman, the head coach of Oregon, to take her picture with Josh and Hope Whitman. I said it's the first time the head coach of Oregon was asked to take a picture of somebody else.
Dude, can you take my picture?
Hey, he called her dude. Called the guy who didn't know it was Dana Altman, head coach at Oregon. Okay, so mind me, we were just in Cincinnati, and Riley, Christian's wife, the new star realtor, somebody stopped her and said, take a picture of this, and it was with a baseball player she didn't know it was. It was Todd Frazier, who won the home run derby at the All-Star game a number of years ago. Nice. Was an All-Star player, and it was Todd Frazier. I mean, he's right there, and it was kind of cool, but she didn't know who he was. And I had to look twice, say, oh, yeah, I think it's Todd Frazier. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's a very good player. But yeah, no, you just ask people, and then usually I've never had anybody say, I'm not taking your picture. They're always very kind.
Well, I got one for you. I was at one of these things where it was political, and Vice President Cheney was there. And I asked my friend Boise, who's a real muckety-muck, high-level guy in politics, and I said, could you take a picture of us? He said, sure. And he took a picture of me and Dick Cheney. And then he was showing off. He goes, hey, Dick, take a picture of John and I. So the vice president took a picture of me and Boise Bollinger.
Now that tops your Dana Altman.
That does.
The Vice President of the United States taking your picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you met President George W. Bush, didn't you tell him that Benjamin had prayed
at Thanksgiving, he said, thank God for George W.
That's
Bush. I said, my 5-year-old nephew, and the president says, amen.
All right. I love that.
You thought the Secret Service thought you were talking.
I wasn't supposed to say anything.
Yeah.
It's just a photo op.
Yeah, don't talk. Just stand there and smile and keep the line moving.
Right.
The news will be next. Again, text in if you got anything. You're welcome. Appreciate you. We'll be right back. It's ESPN 93.5 at 7:57.
My name is Jim Brookins. I own my lawn care service for over 15 years now. I've met a lot of great people doing this. Most of the people I meet, they become great friends. I do edging, weed eating. I blow everything off so it looks fantastic when I'm done. I believe, in my mind, I do the best. Usually my average range is usually around $40 per yard. You can call me 217-621-8807. 217-621-8807.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service. and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians. I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Preventative care is a key factor in maintaining your overall health. Don't delay your health care. If you haven't already scheduled your annual wellness checkup and any recommended screenings and immunizations, do it today. Christie Clinic primary care physicians have same-day appointments available. Talk to a Christie Clinic physician about important screenings and immunizations. You don't want to delay. Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Race weekend, April 24th through the 26th. Illinois Marathon.com.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
This is WSJK, Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals, who do play tonight in New York against those Mets. 8 o'clock.
Too late. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. That's President Trump's nickname for Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, calling him always wrong and too late to lower interest rates. The president's been pushing for faster rate cuts since his first term in office. Powell yesterday at the Economic Club of Chicago says new Trump tariffs create a challenging scenario for the bank.
The level of tariff increases announced so far is significantly larger than anticipated, and the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth.
President Trump says Powell cannot be terminated soon enough. He'd have to fight in court to fire him, though. Powell's term runs through next May. The president noted in his post, the European Central Bank cut its rates again today. President Trump will talk about tariffs and trade today with Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni.
Prime Minister Meloni will arrive here to the White House around noon today. She and President Trump have a good working relationship. So the EU and the member nations there, they see her as a promising representative of sorts. They are hoping that she's going to push for a zero tariff deal that the EU is seeking out. The Wall Street Journal writes Meloni's broader goal is to keep the U.S. firmly anchored to Europe, positioning herself as a potential bridge between Western allies.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. 3 people are killed during a fishing tournament on Lewis Smith Lake in Alabama.
2 vessels collided. All 3 victims were aboard one of the boats. 2 were thrown overboard and drowned, while the third died from his injuries. The accident occurred during the Tackle Warehouse Invitational. Major League Fishing canceled the tournament's final day, calling it a heartbreaking moment. The crash remains under investigation by Alabama Marine Patrol troopers. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
Now, at least 41% of homes and businesses in Puerto Rico are reported to have their electricity back now. Power went down for the entire island midday yesterday. There are Easter celebrations there all week. America's listening to Fox News.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is Our Shot. Visit VaxAssist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The highest level talks about the Russia-Ukraine war in weeks are happening today.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio and presidential envoy Steve Witkoff are meeting in Paris with French President Emmanuel Macron, as well as other top officials from Europe and Ukraine. The State Department says the goal is to end the war that began when Russia invaded Ukraine in early 2022. Russia has refused the Ukraine-endorsed ceasefire pushed by President Trump.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. A former Federal Aviation Administration contractor pleads guilty to spying for Iran.
Abuzar Rahmani was charged with sharing private information on U.S. airports and the energy industry with the Islamic regime. The naturalized U.S. citizen pleading guilty to acting as an agent of the Iranian government. Federal prosecutors say Rahmani previously was an officer in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, which is a designated terrorist organization. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
A gray whale is saved in California.
Right off the cliffs that encompass Terranea Resort and Trump National Golf Club, a 25-foot gray whale struggles to breathe. For a week and a half, the whale's tail was wrapped in green gill netting, which slices into their blubber like barbed wire and caught on a rock crab trap anchored 100 feet down. Marine mammal experts discovered the gray whale had dragged the trap along the seafloor from Newport Beach to Rancho Palos Verdes, and he was now trapped. But a whale watcher walking along the bluffs called NOAA Fisheries, currently facing massive cuts, and their rescuers saved the day. NOAA's local team raced out, untangled, and released the whale right off Terranea Resort.
That's Fox 11 LA's Haley Winslow. The number of new unemployment benefit claims fell a little last week by 9,000 to 215,000. That's fewer than most economists expected. 1.89 million Americans are receiving benefits right now, up 41,000. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, another pharmacy in Urbana closing its doors. CBS officials said the store's last day, May 28th. It's the second pharmacy to shut down on Philo Road near Colorado Avenue this year. Across the street, the Walgreens closing in January, and several other businesses on the street are currently sitting empty there. Well, the city of Arcola aiming to welcome in more out-of-town visitors in the near future, and a $1.3 million grant helping to make it happen. Money comes from the state's Rebuild Downtown and Main Streets grant program. There'll be several improvements, some of which are already in the works. In Hoopston, Joel Bird spent more than 2 decades with Hoopston Fire, about 10 of those as fire chief. He'll soon be closing that chapter. He's not going far. Bird began working with the city's emergency management agency last year. He's now accepted the role of director. Says he'll try to help out with the fire department when needed. And that's your check of what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All righty. Thank you, Jim Miller. We appreciate meteorologist Greg Solier, who's about to jump in here and tell us what he's been warning us about. That's going to get a little wet around these parts.
Well, and there's lots of Easter egg hunts and things like that. So people are paying attention, turning up your weather forecast. I was hearing that last night at a big event, that they enjoy hearing what you have to say.
Well, and it will be warmer, right, Greg?
Thank you for relaying that.
Warmer, though. At least warmer,
yes,
right?
That's
a
plus. Yeah, not Brother Johnny warmth, but, better than, 40s and 50s. So it will be, that's the little trade-off, milder, but then warmer, higher temperatures holds more moisture and et cetera, so forth and so on. So.
All right, it is our meteorologist, Greg Solier, who will now describe to you what you have in front of you here on this Monday, this Holy Thursday on Easter week, sir.
Exactly. Getting ready to move into the Easter holiday weekend. The Triduum, I do believe, if I've pronounced that correctly. All that associated with this very sacred weekend for many. In any event, the weather is a little iffy around here, especially for the Easter egg hunt. There may be some lingering rain, certainly some wet grounds to contend with on daybreak on Easter Sunday. If you're going to be up for sunrise services close to the 50-degree mark, that's not bad. Winds will be light, but there may be some rain either winding down and then coming back into the afternoon. The first of multiple days and probably multiple weeks of a wetter than usual weather pattern for openers. The next probably 4, 5, 6 days, 1 to 3 in the gauge in some of the same areas that are just draining out from the rains a few weeks ago to our south and southwest. Another 6 or 7 expected in the next 7 days. So very problematic over a wide area of the country. country. In the meantime, 45 to 50 degree weather out there right now. Mid-level clouds are giving way to some sprinkly, spotty showers over the western and southern end of the state, and some pretty good rain making its way out of northern Missouri. That's the stuff that'll be in here for this afternoon. The spotty stuff later on this morning with a mostly cloudy high of 65 and a pickup on the southeast to south wind. Milder tonight in the 50s. Leftover shower chance this evening. Another one towards tomorrow morning. Then partly sunny, windy, warmer. Northbound warm front gets us to 80. That's nice. Not so nice. Maybe some showers and thunderstorms late morning, but more so for the afternoon, where you're at least in a slight risk for that, for severe weather tomorrow afternoon and evening time. Down tomorrow night with some soaking rains to 53 and some leftover shower activity both Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Saturday high of 60. Again, 50 at daybreak Easter Sunday, up to 65 as showers increase, particularly in the afternoon, but can't rule out something here Easter Sunday morning. Monday, shower activity in 62, 68 Tuesday, up around 70 and more rain ahead next Wednesday and Thursday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solye.
Mortgage fraud for Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. Is that her name?
Oh, boy.
She's the one that campaigned on getting Trump. Anyway, Letitia James, apparently she was buying a home in Virginia, 500 miles away from where she's supposed to live. She has to be a resident of New York City to be the Attorney General. And she bought a home in Virginia, and her father was on it, and she called him her husband. She got a better mortgage rate. She also has a unit that has 6 units and supposed to be 5 units. It's supposed to be 4. Got a better rate on that. So she falsified some mortgage documents, which is a felony.
That's okay.
Right.
Okay,
and,
so
and as the New York Attorney General, you think she'd know better.
Well, you're doing lawfare now.
Yeah.
But it's really, there's a difference between lawfare and fair law. And the Democrats attacked Trump on his Mar-a-Lago loan. He had a loan, I guess one of the assets was Mar-a-Lago, which they sued him saying that place isn't worth more than $18 million.
Yeah, right.
He could sell it for like $250
maybe
$1
billion. I don't know. There's a lot of land there.
By the way, no issues with the loan. Everything's paid back.
Everybody back.
And so that's the kind of thing they were doing constantly to Donald Trump. You're going to hear the accusation he's abusing the system when they actually break the law.
Let's see how Letitia James reacted.
Okay.
Boy, she wants Hakeem Jeffries to win so they could just get him an impeachment. Here's the Letitia James acting calmly.
Focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University that overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms where Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. Okay. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now. Let's go.
I think she handled it very maturely.
Well,
it sounds like somebody really embarrassed that they put her dad down as her husband, and maybe messed up some other.
I wonder if you ask her, well, what about that, Claire, what she would have said. I think you'd have been screamed at. But
yeah, well, I mean, what did she say? I could get that cut 100 times. No one is above the law.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Well, that then let's apply that because you.
No, that's not what she meant. Look.
Right. Do as I say, not as I do.
Kind of refers back to some people should not be in charge of anything.
Yeah.
Well,
let's go back to that thing.
Well, I mean,
how we opened today.
I thought there wasn't. Maybe I'm dreaming, but didn't Lady Justice have a blindfold on?
Well,
I thought so.
True.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm fabricating
now, scales in one hand.
The state attorney general?
She's the attorney general of New York City district
attorney?
attorney.
Was the other guy that went after him, I thought.
Oh, I don't know what she is. She was in charge of charging Trump. But first of all, you're running on getting somebody? I thought you're supposed to be that blindfold thing. I mean, you can't run on getting somebody. What are you talking about?
Well, it just deflects this question about what she did to Trump. And he's taken a lot of it. It's not, I don't know if they are very self-aware, but or even aware.
Yeah.
It's not working like it used to. It's like Carville said about 6 months ago. It's not working.
Yeah. What about James Carville? And he said that we need to split with the progressives. The Democrats and the progressives need to go their own way, and then after the election, see how much we can agree on. He said, because we can't do this pronoun politics.
Right.
So does an 80-year-old have any weight in this party anymore?
Well, I think there's a lot of sentiment from more of the middle Democrats that say, what are we doing? No one's going to vote for this. And it's going to get worse. And they're what we call doubling down. They haven't changed one thing that cost them this election, which many people think Trump was actually a weak candidate. I don't know if I agree with that, but certainly beatable because of all the negatives. But they couldn't do it. And it's because of the policies and their wild rhetoric and standing for things that most Americans don't agree with.
But, in this Holy Week, you look back on all that, and I said, they're going to bury this guy. And they tried every which way, and he got stronger. Mm-hmm. And with each new indictment, it was stronger. He got more popular. That's divine intervention.
To me, it looks like their strategy and attacks really created Donald Trump as he is today. Give him a lot of credit for standing up to it. But that you're right. And what's amazing, they never do seem to amaze me. They've continued, which, according to the track record, is going to continue to make him stronger, meaning they're going to even lose more support so that the Democratic Party has a chance to cut these people out. And Steve, the majority of the Democratic Party really would rather go another route, but they're somehow afraid to get primary, afraid to get thrown out altogether, so they go along with it, and it's killing them.
Well, okay, but I think there's still the fear of if you split, nobody will ever beat the Republicans.
I disagree, though. They got to do what's right. They can't go along with things that are clear. Open the border was not a good idea, and it wasn't fair to anybody.
No.
And neither is this transgender movement. And so they've got to stand up and say no. And what'll happen is a lot of the independents and moderate Republicans say, well, I'm not voting for them.
Yeah.
I don't like Trump. But
right.
Then they'll be, all right, now we're back to Adlai Stevenson, or we're back to
we could go
somebody better.
Harold Ford Jr., the Joe Manchin, somebody
those guys.
Very reasonable people. Yeah. Very, very.
And I wouldn't agree with everything they're saying any more than I do with some of the things my buddy Trump said.
No, I agree. No, there's a space there.
But you can talk about how to make it better, and you don't have to attack the other guy no matter what he does, as it's bad.
It's just resistance.
Yeah.
All right, sports headlines. We can't do the recap because the Cardinals won, doggone it.
Okay.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and yesterday the Cardinals finished off 2 out of 3 over Houston, winning 4-1, and Steven Matz had a great start.
He was outstanding. He was looking for his command to come around in the early going, but really settled in, worked inside well against an entire right-handed batting lineup for the Houston Astros. He went 5 innings. He went his pitch total that they expected him to go, gave way to the bullpen after that.
He retired the last 15 he faced, and Lars Nootbaar helped Matz over the top. From the stretch, Blanco, the pitch. Nootbaar swings, and he drives it to center field. That's hit back to the track, the wall. It's a goner! A 3-run homer for Lars Nootbaar. 3-1 Cardinals in the 5th inning. The win to Matz, 1-1 over Ronel Blanco, 1-2, and Ryan Helsley got the save.
Helsley looked sharp in the 9th inning. Again, Nootbaar's big hit. A good team win again.
And we're in New York tonight on the air at 5:15.
So we have the Mets series starting up. Hey, thanks, Heath, for texting in 359-2255. I don't know if I got that right earlier. We do have the Cubs that are playing tomorrow in a day game as they start up the series in Wrigley against Arizona. But Padres on top 4-2 yesterday. A's and Chicago White Sox series continues at 1:10 today, and the A's came out on top 3-1 yesterday. Illinois softball beating Valpo 5-1. They've got Purdue in West Lafayette tomorrow at 4. So I've been reading some different, like a defensive lineman is coming in for Illinois and football. It's just so hard to keep.
It's so many people.
Recruits.
I have no idea how good they are. If they're going to help us this year, next year, 3 years. What's just so hard on football? But Illinois is going to go to the season ranked in football, and our first Big Ten game is at Indiana. Has it ever happened in the history of football where Illinois and Indiana are both ranked to open the season. I think not.
Right.
That's very unusual. Indiana's got it going on with their new coach who said, Google me, I win.
That's right.
And they did, and he does. So, end of contract.
The best way to really evaluate the team is go to the game, see how they do.
Yeah.
That's it. Now's the time to get the tickets,
But
too.
we're going to be ranked in the top 20, and Gabe Yakis, number 17, says it's playoff or bust. So they're shooting. Why not shoot?
I got to tell you that as a coach, you don't like those high rankings because now it's your fault if something goes wrong.
Well, there's
everybody says you should do better, and
but they do want the expectation that we're that kind of
health
program.
recruiting, it's the program, it's the
Right.
whole thing, no question.
No question. But it's Illinois this year after coming off 10 wins and a Citrus Bowl win over South Carolina. I'm hoping for 6 because we can't go to bowls and back to it. Why hasn't Illinois been able to win 6 times a year forever, and it just doesn't happen? So I'm rooting for a bowl, and then we can go from there.
But Palatine's Tony Bagliani is our latest offensive lineman to commit to Illinois for the class of 2026.
Check your weather. Meteorologist Greg Solier will look around for our Easter weekend.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and vicinity, and shower activity back to the west, down to the south. It's the Vanguard doing increasingly active and moisture-laden one as we move on through the next few days, if not the next couple of weeks. Plan accordingly with outdoor work and field work in mind for those in said category. Breezy, milder today, mostly cloudy. A couple of showers breaking out into the later morning and more so as we get into the afternoon. Highs up to 65, but a south-southeasterly wind on the increase, 12 to 24. Tonight, windy, milder. Isolated shower early and late down to 55. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, warmer, up around 80 with a couple of showers and thunderstorms breaking out into the morning, but more so for the afternoon. The showers and thunderstorms continue tomorrow night, low down to 53. More shower activity Saturday, variably cloudy, cooler, the high near 60. Easter Sunday, maybe a little rain early on. Some shower activity for the afternoon, the high near 65. A couple of showers Monday, dry Tuesday, more rain the second half of next week. Highs will moderate to around 70. Daytime, nights 55 to 60. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Fewer people signed up for unemployment benefits last week. The number of new claims declined by 9,000 to 215,000. However, more people are remaining on benefits. Continuing claims rose by 41,000 to 1.88 million. Also, fewer new homes were going up in March. Housing starts declined by 11.4%. Building permits rose by 1.6%. This morning, the European Central Bank lowered interest rates by 0.25%, citing the anticipated impact of tariffs. President Trump responded, repeating his call for the Federal Reserve to also cut. However, yesterday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said the Fed's path on interest rates is uncertain. United Health Group reported a disappointing quarter. The stock's down 20%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosolda. Invested in you.
I'm Charles Payne. Listen to my Unstoppable Prosperity podcast so I can get you making money right now. 35 years on Wall Street taught me how to successfully invest in the stock market. In my 4-part series, I'm going to teach you too. Some of Fox Business's finest join me to help tell my story, impart crucial lessons from my Unstoppable Prosperity book, and to give you the tools to achieve your own financial dreams.
Listen anytime, everywhere at foxbusinesspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
In a recent 5-star Google review for Nate Evans Group, Jeremiah said that he just had a 5-star experience with the team at Nate Evans Group. Very impressed with the team's knowledge of the market and how they were always there to answer any of the questions throughout the entire process.
When it comes to the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty, you can get that immediate cash offer on your home. There's flexible fees. Sell your home for the most money possible. And you know you're not working with an inexperienced agent. I'm telling you, they just have so much insight to our area and helping that smooth transition from selling your home to buying your next one. So there's that secret list of homes too. If you're exploring some options, you can just go to Nate Evans Group and get home value, enter your address, just see what happens. Call the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans, a friend you can trust, 217-239-7113, and online search to Nate Evans Group to start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to
All right, Tim, Gale Ferrex Trucking, looking for drivers at all?
Yeah, we're going to do a little push here. And until we get the trucks full, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. We're going to go ahead and reinstitute our $4,000 sign-on bonus for the month of April. So I can guarantee the first 2 guys that come in are going to get that. Now, after that, that will fill up the trucks, and I don't know what we'll have to reevaluate then, but we'll carry that through either till the end of April or till the trucks are filled up.
To the person listening, Tim, what did they do to get this $4,000 signing bonus in case they'd like to act on that?
They can email me at timo@gftlog.com. They can call my office at 765-793-7131. They can drop by Dedicated Diesel in Urbana at 1313 Triumph Drive and see Mandy, and she can get them the paperwork and get them in touch with me.
It's great when hard work and experience are recognized. Hi, this is Ryan Heiser, President and CEO of Fisher National Bank. I am thrilled to share that Fisher National has been ranked 7th in the nation as a top lender in mortgage loans among banks with asset size of $300 million to $1 billion by our National Banking Association. This recognition is a testament to our lending team's dedication and expertise. After all, better banking experiences start with local people and local decision making. If you're in the market for a new home or considering refinancing your existing home, let our team at Fisher National Bank earn your business and trust. We offer competitive rates with low closing costs, and we locally service almost all of our loans. Come see us with all your home mortgage needs and experience the top-notch service that has earned us national recognition. Learn more at fishernational.com or stop by one of our branches today.
Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hark, there be a barge of overseas appliances, overpriced, tariff-laden goods. Unload quick! We don't have any other choice but to pay the high prices.
Sure we do.
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, it be Paul Rican from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. What speak ye about saving money?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you don't need to worry about overpriced tariff goods. We are stocked with pre-tariff inventory.
You don't need me overpriced appliances from overseas?
Nope, we're good. We even have Speed Queen in stock made right here in the good old Midwest.
You want none of it?
We have 2 warehouses full of pre-tariff inventory and a service department to repair your existing appliance if you want to save even more money instead of buying new.
Well, I'll be. Can I interest ye in me lobster bisque?
Well, it is 9 a.m.
You got to try me lobster bisque.
Okay, all right, I'll get some to go. Take credit card?
With a 5% service charge and sign here for a minimum 30% tip.
Wow. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We were putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of A&R. John, I could almost say, what haven't you built? Up and down campus, the Siebel Center was fairly new for computer science.
Everybody was working as a team, and I think it came out very well.
A&R Mechanical has helped build Carl at the Fields expansion and other Carl projects in Provena and Sarah Bush Lincoln. The list goes on and on. Visit them at ar-mech.com. All right, so 827, Tom Homan, big part of getting the criminal element of the illegals out of America. Not happy about the whole El Salvador thing.
You mean Chris Van Hollen, the guy that didn't want to sign the Laken Riley Act that protects American citizens against illegal alien criminal gang members? Who instead of protecting Americans, his constituents, his taxpayers, he goes to El Salvador and defends an illegal alien with a deportation order that's a member of MS-13 that has been designated a terrorist organization by President Trump. That's where he went to defend it. It's just disgusting. The same senator whose state yesterday released an illegal alien charged with murder refused the ICE detainer, hit the street. So rather than protecting his community, protecting the residents of Maryland, he goes to El Salvador to coddle an MS-13 gang member terrorist. It's ridiculous. And also, I talked to an MS-13 expert today who also showed me pictures of his hand, where he says absolutely the tattoo on one of his hands was absolutely an MS-13 gang tattoo, nothing questionable about it. 2 judges said he's an MS-13 member. ICE says he's an MS-13 member. Intelligence community says he's an MS-13 member. El Salvador says he's an MS-13 member. So, it's just ridiculous. And as far as all the people who are speaking out against us, I cannot believe for a minute there's that many stupid people in the world. Now AOC, on the smart meter, she's a 0. We'll give them that. But I can't believe these people really believe what they're saying. They got to be just pushing the narrative for political reasons. They can't be that dumb to think that this person is an MS-13 gang member and a public safety threat.
Yeah, Tom Homan.
Well, it makes me wonder, back to the more moderate Democrats, what are they thinking now with, of course, all the people that did come in, and there's been a lot of, because the moderates are like, yeah, there's been a lot of problems. We've had some problems with the gangs. We've had a lot of innocent people killed or hurt, and well, we had to have congressional laws. There's just nothing they can do. The border's basically secured. Yeah. After hearing that, and then in 2 months it's over, no one's coming across. What do they think back about these people that were saying we're fine, there's nothing we can do, it's the Republicans' fault? And we're talking 200,000 or 300,000 people coming across the border every day.
Unbelievable.
And there's no telling how it'll all shake out with most of them being probably going to be able to stay and probably okay. But boy, what you have to go through to legally come, and then you just let these people have a free ride. And I wonder what the moderate Democrats who stayed true to their party think now.
They don't
There's
like
no
it.
kind of,
They can't.
we were wrong. We probably could have done it. We should have done it. Kamala should have gone home after the debate and shut the border. We just got to help them keep it this way.
Let me get the news going here. We got Tim Onstock coming up next, but the bottom line is Governor Newsom is suing Donald Trump now to deflect attention on his problems of the state.
Well, it's the distraction game. Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the news. It's 8:30 ESPN 93.5. Pitmaster Tim coming up next.
News, I'm Therese Crowley. Italian women, wine, and cars in the mix today as Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni becomes the first European leader to visit the Oval Office and talk tariffs with President Trump. She's believed to be a bridge to Brussels to make a deal. Fox has learned the Trump administration is asking the IRS to revoke Harvard University's tax-exempt status for failing to carry out federal guidelines to root out campus anti-Semitism. Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem also terminated 2 DHS grants worth nearly $3 million. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen traveled to El Salvador to get illegal migrant Kilmar Abrego Garcia out of its mega prison, but was denied by Salvador's vice president. Border Czar Tom Homan tells Fox.
Protecting his community, protecting the residents of Maryland, he goes to El Salvador to coddle an MS-13.
America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, the city of Arcola aiming to welcome in more out-of-town visitors in the near future, and a $1.3 million grant helping to make it happen. Money comes from the state's Rebuild Downtown and Main Streets grant program. There'll be several improvements, some of which are already in the works. In Hoopston, Joel Bird spent more than 2 decades with Hoopston Fire, about 10 of those as fire chief. He'll soon be closing that chapter. He's not going far. Bird began working with the city's emergency management agency last year. He's now accepted the role of director. Says he'll try to help out with the fire department when needed. Well, another pharmacy in Urbana closing its doors. CVS officials said the store's last day, May 28th. It's the second pharmacy to shut down on Philo Road near Colorado Avenue this year. Across the street, the Walgreens closing in January, and several other businesses on the street are currently sitting empty there. And that's your check of what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
Invest in yourself with free rewards checking from Fisher National Bank. Instead of losing a little each month in fees, wouldn't it be nice to earn on your money? Switch to Fisher National. They offer excellent annual percentage yields with no minimum balance or service fees. Make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have one direct deposit a month. It's as easy as that to maximize on your money with a bank ready to invest in you. Learn more at FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Freeze on Florida and Champaign and vicinity. Clouds into position. Shower activity to the west and south. It'll be a little more scattered and random as the morning progresses in rainfall chances and better odds this afternoon up to 65. The south-southeasterly wind on the increase at 12 to 24 and gusty. Windy, milder tonight. Maybe a stray shower this evening. And again, late night tonight, 55 the low. Tomorrow, a summer-like day. Partly sunny, windy, warmer up around 80. And with that, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. More so for the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night, lower 50s with widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. Still a few showers both morning and afternoon on Saturday. Markedly cooler at 60. Easter Sunday about 50 at sunrise. There may be a little rain around. Then showers and thunderstorms are back in for the afternoon on Easter Sunday. The high to 65. A couple of more showers. 62 on Monday. We're dry Tuesday, would you believe, at 68. Highs up near 70 and more rain back in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Over the next 5 days, easily 1 to 3 inches in the gauge. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
When you're buying a battery, it's important to look beyond just the price and make sure you're buying a quality battery. So when you're buying one from the big box store, make sure you ask the question, what's the date on this battery? Is it dependable? Sometimes the big box stores have batteries that have been sitting on the shelf for years. Or you can just come to Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, and buy your battery from the people who only do batteries. Interstate Batteries at 2504 North Madison, Champaign. Way out there, but totally worth the drive. How much is dependable worth to you? Interstate Batteries open 6 days a week.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Racing, racing, racing! Farmer City Raceway is your local award-winning dirt track with exciting Friday night lights illuminating the late models and modifieds going for the checkered flag for the win. Make arrangements to get in on the camping with great price points for pit passes and young fans, as well as veterans. Friday nights, the hot laps start at 6:30, then qualifying and racing action. Don't miss out on the fun at Farmer City Raceway. For details, visit farmercityracing.com. You'll buy the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
And now, a brand new show called Smoke, where we help you with your grill and making the best meat ever. With award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt. Smoke in Tim's Grill. He's the best brisket maker ever. Smoke in Tim's Grill. And now award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt. Well, how are you, my friend? Nice to hear from you.
Hey.
What's happening?
Hey, good morning. April 17th sticks in my head for some reason. Is that an important day?
It is. It is.
I associate
Yeah.
around somewhere.
The Duceys welcomed their fifth?
The baby of the family.
Fifth child.
Number 6.
Sixth child.
Yes.
Their sixth and final
Diane
child.
Ducey,
That's
my
right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
My favorite initials. And do you know why that's my favorite initials?
Double
Not what
D?
you think.
DD.
Dedicated D.
Boom.
Okay.
Well, I want to get to their simple way of smoking a ham for Easter. Brother Johnny's here, and he's perked up and easy, you know.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I got a hard deadline to get over to my mom's house, but I'm going to listen to the recipe, Tim, because
Hey, Brother Johnny, what you need to do is start out with, we're going to take your regular Easter ham, spiral cut, bone-in ham, and we're going to turn it up a notch.
Okay.
You get the spiral sliced smoked ham. It's already cooked.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what you're doing is just turn it up a little bit. We're going to make a glaze with a half cup of orange juice, half cup of apple juice, a quarter cup of brown sugar, and a quarter cup of honey.
Okay.
Well, that's
And
sweet.
we're
Just
going to
take
combine that in a saucepan on high heat until it reaches a low boil. And then we're going to reduce it for about 3 to 5 minutes, stirring it, every once in a while. And we're going to take that and we're going to brush it on the outside of the ham. Just brush it on, get it nice and coated to baste it. Then this is where the barbecue trick comes in. We're putting in a bag, Ziploc bag, we're going to put a half a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of raw sugar, turbinado is what it's called in the grocery store, half teaspoon of ground ginger, half teaspoon of cinnamon, a half teaspoon of fresh ground nutmeg, a half teaspoon of Spanish paprika. Now, there's not a whole lot of flavor to the paprika. That's a lot there. That's for color and making it look pretty. But shake up that bag and get it good mixed up. And then, this is the messy part, you'll want to apply that blend to the outside of the ham. Once you get it all good and coated, we're going to have our smoker running between 275 and 300 degrees. And this is one thing where I vary. Normally, we've talked about it, I use hickory wood. It's a little too strong for this ham because it's already been smoked, supposedly, in the store while they use liquid smoke or in the plant, whatever. But this you'll use a milder fruit wood, like cherry or apple. You stick it in there on a rack till the outside starts to look a little bit dry, usually 2.5 to 3 hours. You'll want to get the internal temperature to 140 degrees using your Thermopin. And you'll notice the slices start to separate just a little bit. But once it's done there, you pull it off, let it rest for 5 or 10 minutes. Just make that slice right down the bone, and your slices just peel right away from there. It's amazing. It takes your almost tasteless store-bought smoked ham and turns it up and makes it incredible.
Wow. We got to get that online where people driving could write that down. We need to put that on a website so people can get these recipes.
You've been telling me that for 6 months.
I know.
We need I'm to just move hard-headed.
No, I'm just...
But it really doesn't sound that hard. You just have to know what to do.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing.
Well,
it's not hard. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, but it's not, like I said, it's all about execution, Tim.
Yep.
So don't sell. And then, too, you just just have to remember how to do it. I could do that. I might have to call Tim too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, that's good stuff. All right, let's get to DD, dedicated diesel.
I'm gonna wish happy birthday to Diane
Thank
and go
you.
DD diesel.
Yeah,
I've got to go.
double
Tim.
D.
Well, happy Easter.
Thanks,
We'll
Johnny.
see you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny. Dedicated diesel, Dixie Choppers, lawn mowing season is upon us. Talk to me about the kind of earth-shattering news and prices I can get today, man.
Hey, we've got some stuff in there that we really would like to move. Andy's going to be making some deals below the minimum advertised price that we can do. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to tell you right now. There's a residential mower there, $75.79 is a MSRP. The cheapest they'll let us sell it for is $59.19. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to sell it for $5,000.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so this one's going to last me as long as I mow my grass. That's going to last. You're going to get it tuned up with Andy over the years. So an $8,000 mower I can get for $5,000.
Yes.
What's the cutting radius on that?
That one is a 42-inch cut with a 23-inch horsepower. So that's perfect for your residential, half acre, three-quarter acre, or smaller lot in town. That's perfect for something like that.
Well, you just can't beat that. So that's amazing.
And we're going to go. We've got several models. We're going to go all the way up to a $19,273 industrial classic mower. That's the MSRP on it. We're going to sell that for over $4,000 off at $15,000.
Okay. Well, he's very serious, my friends. If you are in the market for this, might be worth going out and taking a peek. It's on Triumph Drive. You're driving on Route 45 as you leave Urbana. On the left-hand side is Triumph. You turn left, boom, you'll be there. Go to the end of the road.
Hey, we've got 5 good used units that have been went through, checked out in the shop. Everything's good on them. Those are priced anywhere from $3,600 on up, but you need to get in there and check those.
Yep,
deals
might not
out.
last long. You need to go check out what he's doing here because he's obviously getting the inventory gone to welcome new stuff. Okay, what about your drivers at Gale Frericks Trucking?
Our drivers are doing excellent. We'd like to have some good people join us. Getting ready for. We brought in, just real quick, 3 or 4 young drivers near the end of last year, and I'll tell you, they have done an excellent job for us. They've learned, they've taken steps and grown, and they've really seen what true trucking can be, getting home time, making good money, and they're real happy about that.
That's
we
awesome.
need to bring in some more of those younger people or guys with experience to help us bring them along. It's a fact of our society. Our skilled labor is getting older, and I've got some guys that want to retire, but they're not going to leave us hanging. They want to have good people in their spots and be able to teach them what they're doing. So it's a good growth job for somebody, too.
Yeah, home on weekends. I mean, good money from Gale Frericks Truck. If you're young and you're on the road a little bit, works out well. You're making money you're probably not going to make elsewhere. So what the heck? Look at that thing. And you got a great teacher. Tim will teach you how to do it. I'm still available to drive your truck to the ramp, but then you got to come find me. I'm not driving that thing anywhere else. So.
Well, I need you to go further than the ramp, Stevie.
It's Tim Onstall. How can people connect with you, my friend?
Hey, they can get me on email at timo@gftlog.com. They can reach me at the office at 765-793-7131. They can get Andy at 217-328-0562 to get a great deal on a Dixie Chopper lawnmower, world's fastest mower. He'll help you out. He'll take care of you. And if you want to buy it too cheap than what he'll sell it for, he'll call me and ask me.
Okay. All right. What the heck?
We'll make a deal.
Tim, you're the man. Happy Easter. Appreciate you being on.
Appreciate it. Diane, have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Should be a great year.
Happy birthday, Diane, for
All
sure.
right.
847.
Why use Land's Underground Solutions? We have the team, the technology, the tools, and the most experienced team in the industry.
Hi, it's Wes from Land's Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our mission at Land's is to provide top-tier service, prioritize our customers with upfront pricing, and maintain exceptional communication. We assure you at Land's we will only recommend what you truly need. From regular maintenance on your home's mechanical systems with the Land's Comfort family to replacement of existing equipment. Now would be a great time to consider updating your HVAC system. Visit us at landsinc.com.
Tired of trying to keep up with Old Man Jones and his perfect lawn? Spring Green knows that we can't all spend hours a day creating that perfect shade of green, killing off all that crabgrass, and making sure every insect in the neighborhood doesn't call your lawn home this year. At Spring Green, they take the hassle out of your lawn headache with services such as lawn fertilization, weed control, grub and insect control, lime treatments, and even bush and tree care. Let the experts at Spring Green help you this season. For more information, visit them at spring-green.com. Spring Green, America's neighborhood lawn care team.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window, a proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. A new front door can instantly upgrade the look of your home and make it more energy efficient. The Kramer Siding and Window team can also install French doors to your deck or patio, welcoming the outside in, or storm doors for an extra layer of protection against the elements. The estimate is free, financing is available, and the business is local. Schedule your beautiful new door today and save 25%. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
My name is Jim Brookins. I own my lawn care service for over 15 years now. I have met a lot of great people doing this. Most of the people I meet, they become great friends. I do edging, weed eating. I blow everything off so it looks fantastic when I'm done. I believe, in my mind, I do the best. Usually my average range is usually around $40 per yard. You can call me 217-621-8807. 217-621-8807.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. For Eastern Florida and Champaign Vicinity, clouds into position. Shower activity to the west and south. It'll be a little more scattered and random as the morning progresses in rainfall chances. And better odds this afternoon up to 65. The south-southeasterly wind on the increase at 12 to 24 and gusty. Windy, milder tonight. Maybe a stray shower this evening. And again, late night tonight, 55 the low. Tomorrow, a summer-like day. Partly sunny, windy, warmer up around 80. And with that, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. More so for the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night, lower 50s with widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. Still a few showers both morning and afternoon on Saturday. Markedly cooler at 60. Easter Sunday about 50 at sunrise, or maybe a little rain around. Then showers and thunderstorms are back in for the afternoon on Easter Sunday. The high to 65. A couple of more showers, 62 on Monday. We're dry Tuesday, would you believe, at 68. Highs up near 70, and more rain back in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Over the next 5 days, easily 1 to 3 inches in the gauge. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group. Some of the things that sellers can do to increase the value of their home.
We get this on almost every listing appointment. Hey, Nate, what can we do to increase the value of our home? We want to sell in a couple weeks. Are there some simple things we can do around the house? Or there's some major things that we can do around the house to increase the value or get a return on our investment? And again, not every home is created the same, and not every situation is the same. So if we walk in there, there's definitely some items that we can do. Paint, floors, and hardware are the easy items where you get your biggest return out of every time. That's easy to say. But there's a lot of times where we'll get questions from sellers where they're asking us, should I update my bathroom? Where should I stop on my floors? Should I redo my roof? Should I do mechanicals? And I think a lot of that plays into the overall scope of your goals. We like to get into the house when it's really not even ready for the market. We can get in there and usually save that seller a lot of money and a lot of wasted time and energy by just offering some simple advice on how we would treat it if it was our own.
You can reach out at Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnace is running safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Christie Clinic has been helping patients win the fight against cancer for almost 90 years. The Charles W. Christie Cancer Center brings together a multidisciplinary team of providers who recommend and provide treatment options. Their team works together to fight cancer while helping reduce the side effects of treatment and maintain your well-being. A team built to act, a team ready to bring hope when you need it most. Learn more at cancer.christieclinic.com.
Race weekend, April 24th through the 26th, IllinoisMarathon.com.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola. All right, well, we will return tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll talk a little more in depth about Easter and exactly what happened 2,000 years ago when Jesus conquered death. We'll give you some of the historical references and talk about all of that. So if you're not well versed in it, we'll try and give you a little of that tomorrow.
Yes, Monsignor Mark Meridian is joining us
He is.
after 7:30.
All right.
He just texted looking forward to our annual chat.
Yeah, that's my moment I'll never forget with Monsignor. It was when I said, well, I've got a lot of questions. And he said, well, I have the answers because my answers are from God. I said, okay.
I can see him saying that.
What just a great human being.
I mean, decades probably at St. Matthew's, I think.
I don't think decades? I think certainly 10.
A long time.
He was there a while, and then he went, and he's a Monsignor, but very humble.
Uh-huh.
All right, we will wish you the best of birthdays, Diane Ducey. Thank you for being born.
And, Rob had texted in, blessed to have you part of our community. May God continue to bless you, your whole family, Stevie J, and the station.
Thank you so much.
That.
Happy birthday.
Enjoy the day.
All right, that's Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie J. Have a great Thursday.
Hey, all you backyard chefs and grill gurus. Barbecue season is here, and I know that you're anxious to fire up that smoker or grill, but your yard needs mowed. Yes, your wife is getting hangry, but that grass isn't going to cut itself. What's an aspiring pitmaster going to do? Get the world's fastest mower, of course, a Dixie chopper from Dedicated Diesel in Urbana. They carry a full line of Dixie choppers from the Z2 and Magnum residential models up to the big Excalibur and classic commercial machines that can mow nearly 8 acres an hour. This is award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstott, and whether I'm cooking low and slow or hot and fast, I always have time to savor the flavor because my mowing time is cut down by Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest mower. Get your Dixie Chopper at Champaign-Urbana's only dealer, Dedicated Diesel, at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, 217-328-0562.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
What is most important in your life?
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's bergtanksinc.com. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Sarah Champagne's been